Let me show you the heart of the system in the Shearline original trimmer. It's the cutting reel. Now these look like old lawnmower type push lawnmower blades, and that's kind of basically what they are. But we've highly modified and brought this up to incredibly tight tolerances in order to get the sort of cuts and the longevity that we get out of our machines. So as you can see, this has 11 blades going around it in a helix. And this is great for cutting up against the bed bar and bed knife that we have. But the goal is to keep this perfectly sharp and perfectly parallel. So in other words, from here to here, you want this to be perfectly parallel, perfectly flat, and in line with the bearing surface over here. So from that bearing surface to here, and from this bearing surface to here, needs to be within 2/1000ths of an inch. That's the thickness of your hair. Once we get these things raw from the company, we spend at least 2 hours deburring, cleaning up all of the little burrs on all of the things inside here, taking off any weld splatter that's on them, cleaning up all of the edges, taking all the burrs off these edges so that resin won't stick to them. It doesn't have any little protuberances to stick to. And that's one part of doing it. The next part is we blast these in a cabinet with 220 grit aluminum oxide. We use aluminum oxide because it dissipates in the acid dip that goes with these before they're plated. That's another real critical aspect of getting a very smooth satin-like finish along these things so that they don't build up resin. Once we're done with that, we send them off and we get them balanced by a gentleman who balances turbocharger impellers. So those have to be balanced within crazy tolerances. This is within 0.5 gram from here to here, and we have paperwork on each individual reel to prove it. It makes a really smooth machine. The next thing that we do after that is we send these off to get plated with food grade electroless nickel. Electroless nickel is a very expensive plating system that coats these with 1 thou to 2 thou of electroless nickel, which is applied perfectly evenly, and it's extremely slippery. It's what tire manufacturers use to coat their molds with to stop vulcanized rubber from sticking to them. So you can imagine how much it helps at keeping resin off of the system. And it works. It's just amazing how long these things can run without building up any resin and dirt. So as you can see, they're clean, they're smooth, and this is one of the reasons why our systems are so perfectly sharp cutting.